Hello, everyone. Welcome in. This is Aaron St. Dennis, the FF Mad Scientist. Welcome to the Mad Science Lab podcast. We are here, NFL Week 7 Fantasy Football Waiver Wire Show. It's Aaron, it's Jesse, it's Jeremy. Welcome to fucking hell. We have Week 6, one of the lowest scoring since 2000. One of the worst weeks for injuries in recent memory, followed up by what? By fucking apocalypse. By Mageddon, whatever you want to call it. What a wonderful clusterfuck this is going to be. What do we have? Where's my page? I've got the list of the bye teams. We've got
I just posted it.
Carolina, Cincinnati, Dallas, Houston, New York Jets, and the Tennessee Titans all on bye. So why wouldn't we lose a dozen high-end players to injury the week before? Good luck.
Fine.
I just clicked on one of my teams to put in waiver wire claims. I had my entire starting lineup from this week on bye next week or injured.
Yes. It's going to be rough. I already know. I haven't gone through.
Question, is there no bye week next week?
They have a weird system.
None.
Yeah, it's fucking weird. I don't know. There's like a couple weeks with just two guys and none. I don't understand it. And then week 13 is like chaos again. It's like, all right, cool. This is great.
Crazy.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm thinking of the guy that's like, welcome to hell. The dude that keeps seeing the GIF on Twitter every time now. I'm like, that is perfect. Yeah.
This guy right here.
Yeah, exactly. I wish I hadn't saved that one pulled out.
I've got a couple of leagues where I really needed to win. I don't need to win, but a couple of the leagues where you can't afford to lose because they're vampire, guillotine, shit like that, which I might add. The last 2 weeks, the two people I've had to eliminate from my guillotine league are you two motherfuckers. So thanks. Fucking
God, I knew I should have started Saquon. It cost me. I was like, listen, he's not going to play. I don't know. I can't play him. And of course.
So I got a couple of leagues where everyone's bracing for bipocalypse, and I look and I'm like, all my bye weeks were in week 5, so I'm good. I don't know, for some reason, week 5, I ate a lot of my buys there. I guess I had a lot of Chargers, but that actually brings me to a question. I need some Frankenstank advice before we get into this. It's terrible waiver week, so I'm going to use a little filler here because the waiver wire options fucking suck. Hey, Frankenstank Monster League. I won this week. I have 2 losses. Looking at the rest of the schedule, I have maybe one additional game I can lose, and the rest of them I'm just going to fucking destroy teams that are like winless or 1 win. So I'm going to grab a whole bunch more players. But this week I have a decision to make. I can take any player off his roster. He protected McCaffrey, so I can't take him. His quarterbacks, I have Herbert and Lawrence. His quarterbacks suck, not worth taking. He has Evan Ingram at tight end, who's worth an upgrade because I have Jonnu. I had Kelsey and Andrews, but I lost back-to-back and lost both of them. So Ingram's an option, but I face the next 6 weeks, I face a team with a stealable tight end that's probably better than Ingram. So here's what we got. My 3 options. I'm pretty stacked at wide receiver, but his best players are Jamar Chase. Well, he had Jefferson who's out, but so I can't steal Jefferson, but I can steal Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb. Those are his 2 best players. I could use the help at running back, assuming, I've got a good running back core, but I don't know how long I trust Raheem Mostert. His best option would be Travis Etienne. I want to go Etienne because if I look at my final 6 weeks, the only stealable running back on any of my opponent's teams is Jonathan Taylor, and that would be week 12, and he will probably have been stolen by then already. So do I take Etienne to fill a need at running back, or do I take Jamar Chase, even though, because he's the best player, but even though, I have my receiving core is Amari Cooper, Nico Collins, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jalen Waddle. I have one more stud there. I'm pretty stacked. One second, let me bring this up. I want to get
It's a pretty significant upgrade going from someone like Nico to Jamar, though. So
here's what we got. So the 3 running backs I've been playing are Jacobs, Walker, and Mostert. So Mostert would be getting replaced by Etienne at some point if he falls off. At wide receiver, I have Olave, Waddle, St. Brown are my starters. And then, my 4th one, who I've been flexing, would be Jamar Chase replacing either Nico or Amari Cooper.
Yeah, that's nice.
So I replace, where do I want to upgrade here? Do I want to take ETN or go BPA?
So I lean ETN, except he's looking at New Orleans, Pittsburgh, bye week, San Francisco, Tennessee. So that's not ideal for a running back, and it's not great for him in the playoffs either with Baltimore, Tampa, Carolina. So obviously he's going to get the workload. He's going to put up, mid to high end RB2 numbers every week for you minimum, right? He's got a nice floor. But Jamar Chase has a similar situation where he's looking at a bye week this week, and then I think he comes back to San Francisco. But after that, he's got some pretty cakey matchups. He's got depleted Buffalo. He's got Houston, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, not great, Jacksonville, Indy, Minnesota, Pittsburgh, and KC. So his schedule lines up really nice second half of the year. Burrow will be 100%.
Well,
so it's really a toss-up for me. I want to go Etienne, but it's really a toss-up for me.
Well, everything in me says take the best player available in Chase. You should add in that I only have to start 2 receivers and 1 running back. So theoretically, I only have to start Walker and Jacobs, and I can just load up on wide receivers and play every one of them if Mostert craps the bed.
Yeah, so the thing with ETN is I don't see him as an upgrade. Yeah, I don't see him as an upgrade over Mostert as long as Mostert is playing. Mostert's been incredible. I don't see ETN as an upgrade over Mostert as long as Mostert's playing. I
think when Etienne gets back, we see when Etienne gets the field how quickly Mostert's out. So. Yeah,
that's the thing. So it's just you have a couple weeks to get by, I think, with Mostert if you want to roll with that and just take Chase and then go that route. I just want the best player available, so I'll run the risk with Chase. That's just how I do it and go from there.
Well, like I said, I have at least. Even if Mostert isn't any good in a couple of weeks, I still have Jacobs and Walker, which is 2 starting running backs. I only need to start 1. Walker's already had his bye. So maybe out of the, combined 7 positions, I could start theoretically 6 receivers if I wanted to, 5 receivers, and then maybe just keep loading up.
Just take Chase. He's incredible. I have a hard time turning him down.
In the last 2 weeks, Chase has had 32 targets and 21 receptions.
And, a ton of it.
Yeah, so like I said, everything in me said take Chase as the best player available.
Yeah.
And then I started to overanalyze, and I'm going, but there's no real running backs. And what really swung it for me is when I looked and I see I only have to start 1 running back. So suddenly I don't care.
Yeah, because ETN's not really upgrading for you. It's not like you're getting, McCaffrey or Eckler, one of those guys. You're getting a guy that's a little bit lower.
Huge bonuses where ETN. I mean, last week he was good, but he never really hits the huge bonuses. You get double points for 2 touchdowns, triple if it's 3, quadruple if it's 4. It rewards. It's a monster league that rewards for monster games. So I guess I'm just gonna take it.
You want the monster? Jamar Chase is the monster.
And we're gonna. I didn't even ask, but Jamar Chase over CD Lamb, obviously. Don't even question it there.
Yeah, you have to.
Okay, I figured as much. I guess let's get into it. It's a really shitty week for waiver wire. I said last week was the worst. This week is worse, which is funny because we have a ton of buys and a ton of injuries. The best piece of advice, if you turn us off right after this, the best piece of advice I want everyone to take away, Christian McCaffrey plays Monday night. We don't know what his status is. If you own Christian McCaffrey, put him in your flex spot and go add someone in that game. KJ Osborne, Jordan Mason, Juwan Jennings, Elijah
Davis. Not Jordan Davis. What's his name? What's the running back? Jordan Mason. Jesus Christ, I can't talk.
That's the second one. So add one of those guys. You can't put McCaffrey on your bench and then have him play. Yeah. Have them in your flex spot and then have one of them as your emergency pivot option at the last minute. That's the most important thing on the waiver wire for anyone who is, going to make a claim this week. I guess we'll start at quarterback, though. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, with all the injuries and the buys, I have a league where I am starting Elijah Mitchell and Jordan Mason.
Hey. If McCaffrey's out, that's not bad, actually. You'll get points. You're like, attention. I mean, they're playing Minnesota, so I think it'll be just fine.
Minnesota's run defense hasn't been bad, actually.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's start at quarterback here. Gonna go for the
Let's do
top 10 options here for trending on Sleeper. We got Sam Howell. He's the only one on this list. Oh, I guess that's not true. He's 40% rostered. We also have Love and Stafford, who are in the 60s. I'd much prefer Howell. Second option. These are not my rankings. This is Sleeper's trending. Second most added quarterback is Tyson Bagent. I often wonder, because this is based on redraft, I want to know how he's been added 16,000 times. Is there 16,000 leagues out there that just have wide open free for all?
Look at his roster percent. It's still 0.
No,
like,
I know
such a
it's
small
still
percentage
0.
of leagues.
I'm looking at him going, how is that even possible? 16,000 leagues, it's 164,000 leagues, and he's still at 0%. Just have no waivers, and it's just a fucking free for all. But
I guess.
After that, we got Geno Smith, Jared Goff, Desmond Ridder, Jordan Love, Brian Hoyer, Stafford, Carr, Mayfield. I think realistically in a lot of my leagues, the only ones likely to be available are Hoyer and Bagent. I don't really want any part of either of them. Hoyer's more of a game manager, but he has no ceiling. Sam Howell, if he's available, is easily my top option here. What do you guys think of the quarterback situation?
It's rough. If you're talking, I know Sam Howell's been pretty good this year as far as streaming, and he's been much better than Desmond Ridder, which we'll get into in a second. But yeah, he's been respectable, and you could trust him. He just, he takes a ton of sacks, so he's turnover worthy, and he has those issues which brings his floor down a little bit. But he can have some moving games, so it's risky. But I like him in certain matchups more than others, and of course, he went off against Chicago because that was a good matchup. So it's just he's kind of a streaming quarterback that you can play in different matchups, which I'm fine with.
Last week though on defense, and that scares me.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's true. Yeah, because you have Baker at 20% and stuff. He's another good guy too.
31%. This is, like I said, mine's on redraft, so maybe it's
I'm just looking at ESPN right now, so I'm just giving a different.
ESPN.
I mean, look, you don't want Bagent. He was awful in relief. I mean, I don't think there's gonna. He's a rookie, right? Probably.
Division 2 rookie out of Shepherd.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was always going to be a project. Leave him alone. Let somebody else pay a few dollars a fat for him. I like Stafford if he's available. It's not a good matchup for him against Pittsburgh, but at least he's at home. We know he's got the weapons. The fact that his check down in Kyron isn't going to be available is problematic for him. So he's not probably my number one option. But I think he's serviceable. And then probably Jordan Love. What do you got?
I love it when I get trade offers on air. I'm excited because I just seen the trade offer. You want to see this right when I see the name? I haven't even looked at it yet. You're going to get live reaction when I read this. Mm-hmm. This guy's a fucking clown. This should be good. Single QB, so this will be something ridiculous. He would like to offer me Joe Burrow and Curtis Samuel for Saquon Barkley and CeeDee Lamb. Why the fuck would I do that in single quarterback?
You wouldn't.
You can't.
No.
Curtis Samuel, though. What is going on with Curtis Samuel, man?
He's a good player. So the thing with Samuel is he's
all around. That's what's going on.
Always been a good player. It's just people just don't like him because he's low ADI. He doesn't see a ton of target. But yeah, he's a good player, man. He just limits Dotson and McLaurin. That's the problem with him. But yeah, Matt Harmon's been raving about him for 10 years. He's that's his guy. He's just a good wide receiver.
He's outscored Dotson every single week this season. I mean, no one on earth saw that coming. And the fact that De'Ami Brown is getting targeted nearly as much as Dotson some weeks is concerning, man. I mean, we all saw that terrible drop from Dotson last week, but I've never been able to feel like I can trust Samuel. I still don't feel like I can trust Samuel. I feel like Dotson can turn it around anytime, and Thomas is going to stay involved, but yeah, I have Samuel in one or two spots, and I just can't bring myself to start him, and he keeps putting up points.
I scrolled down.
I like him.
Sorry, go ahead.
I don't mind him as a flex player. He's solid, and he should be involved in that offense. I wonder what Dotson did to Eric Bieniemy to just get benched to eternity. He must have said something or done something because he's literally not even scheming him looks. He's just having him run the choice routes where it's guess what? You're away from the play. You're not going to see the ball. It's bad. I don't know. It's wild.
I scrolled down to see number 11, and it reminded me of somebody else that I included in my waiver article this week. If you want to go over to the league winners, you can check that out now. I believe it dropped last night because I dropped it earlier than everyone else for those who have Tuesday morning waiver leagues. Joshua Dobbs, because I'm a retard, is the 11th most added quarterback. That leads me to that's not who I want. Kyler Murray is who I want.
I know where you're going. Yeah.
Kyler Murray. I don't know when he's back, but if you've seen the way Dobbs has played the last 2 weeks, Kyler Murray is going to be back on the field the second he's healthy, because defenses have started to watch the film on Dobbs, and he's not doing anything. So Kyler Murray, stash him, put him on your IR for a couple weeks. He will be back hopefully sooner than later, and he is the quarterback I think I stashed most in my leagues. Obviously, he's not a this week option, but
yeah, his percentages are going to climb each week. He's on 13% at ESPN right now, and you're going to see him slowly climb. So if you have a spot like you're talking about, you can hold him. That's the perfect guy to do it, because he's the actual difference-making quarterback, and they're so hard to find, right? So, yeah, like I'm all aboard the Kyler Murray train. He's my most roster dynasty quarterback. I love Kyler.
If Daniel Jones is out again, I don't have a problem with Tyrod, and I don't have a problem taking a shot on him. He's playing Washington. Divisional matchup, it's a tough one, but he's proven that he's as capable as Daniel Jones in this offense. It's not pretty, but it's not pretty this week. So I would take a flyer.
I am looking through. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, even if you really are desperate, you can go Jimmy G this week, because they're playing Chicago. And I get it. He's not really a ceiling play, but he can give you a good game against Chicago with those weapons in that offense. It's just, are you really willing to bet on Jimmy G? It just depends how desperate you are. But if you need somebody, I would much rather play him than Badger or one of those other guys. I need someone who's a capable quarterback.
I am looking.
Yeah, and you can't play guys like Minshew against Cleveland. You can't. There's a few terrible matchups out here. You don't want to play Ritter at all, let alone against Tampa. No. So. I'd fire him up over a couple of guys like that.
God, Ritter's so terrifying. He's got by far the most turnover-worthy plays in the league. It's so bad.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
I'm looking at the top 10 most added running backs, and people are really stupid. Especially when you look and you see one of the most dropped running backs is Tyjae Spears. Why? What? If he was dropped in your league, go pick him up. He looked awesome. I get it. Henry finally did something, but most of it was on a 68-yard run. But anyways, so the top 10 added running backs, like I said, Jordan Mason, Eli Mitchell. If either's available, go add them, especially if you have McCaffrey and don't have another option you can pivot to. Zach Evans, because Kyron Williams is dealing with an ankle injury. I think it's ankle. We don't know what his status is, but Ronnie Rivers is out. Craig Reynolds is third because David Montgomery looks like he'll miss a few weeks, and we don't know if Jahmyr Gibbs is back. Kareem Hunt is fourth because why the fuck not? I don't know. One good game, and I've seen him traded. I seen him traded yesterday in one of my leagues for a second and a third round pick, and I don't know why people just light draft capital on fire. But fifth up, we have Leonard Fournette.
Trade season for sure.
Fifth up, we have Leonard Fournette, who's not on an active roster. He went to where yesterday? Cleveland, Tampa,
Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Oh,
Buffalo, and they're not signing him. That was the report that came out this morning.
Yeah, and so it was actually from Fournette. It wasn't from the team that put that out. So he's the one putting out the news because it was Jordan Schultz, the guy that talked to him. He's like, "Oh, I just talked to Leonard Fournette." The team hasn't said shit about it, right? So people are adding him, and I'm like, if you're gonna take a stab on someone, just take a stab on Darrell Henderson if you want to take a guess at the LA backfield, right? Because he knows that situation so well. But it's a complete dart throw. It's just he's the guy you could just walk into that room. He knows the offense and everything, and he could step in and play. So that's a theoretical thing, but they would have to sign him ASAP. So
7 was Keontae Ingram, who was the number 1 in Arizona with Connor out. Everyone added DeMarcado, but he sucks. Keontae Ingram also sucks, but he sucks less. Number 8 is sneaky. I added him in a few spots. Salvon Ahmed. As long as Jeff Wilson is out and as long as Devon Achane is out, he is going to get some points because backups in Miami, even if they suck, put up 10 fantasy points. Jaylen Warren, who I think at this point is probably dead and is just trending on the take lock. He's put up 10, 11, 12, 8. He's not terrible, but he's never gone over 50% snap share. And I think it's just take lock of people saying he was going to win the job. He's not. And our final one at 10, according to Sleeper, is Latavius Murray, who has not been great. He got 12 carries for 45 yards. Seems to be getting a lot of the goal line work or red zone work and is doing absolutely nothing with it. He is not someone I'm interested in. but I guess it's a pretty rough week. So desperate times, desperate measures. What do you guys think?
Yeah, there's a lot of just bad in that group of names right there, right? There's not too much good. It really depends what Buffalo does with the situation. They're probably going to sign someone off practice squad. Realistically, I think that's the best way that they go about it. But if they do bring in Fournette, like he steps in, he's better than Latavius Murray. He's capable pass catcher, so he would probably let me cook a little bit. So if that does happen, sure, I'm interested. But like you're saying, some of these names, it's just not great. So with Warren, he's fine, but he needs an injury. So, like, that's the thing with Warren. If he gets an injury, then, yeah, he can get all the work and all that. But until then, he's just capped. And it's like same thing with Najee. Like, they cap each other, which sucks. And, yeah, like you're saying, the running backs, Wilson should be back, but we don't know. So, yeah, Ahmed, good call. Even Chris Brooks put up, 12 points last week. So, yeah, like, I want all the Dolphins running backs. So, if any one of them is available, I just want to stash them on my bench and just hope it works out.
Yeah, I don't have any problems with the list you guys put out. All those guys are capable. Warren, I think, should probably be a little higher just because of those numbers that you read out. You know, he's gonna give you those 8 to 10 flex points that you're searching for in these bye weeks. But the guy that I'm looking to stash in super deep leagues, if you can afford it, which of course you can, is Royce Freeman. He's on the practice squad of the Los Angeles Rams. It is the least sexy thing that I'll be doing this week anyway. But, it's very possible they promote him. He's been there all season. So it's not a situation where he has to come in and learn. And, Zach Evans is going to be fine, but they're going to need to spell him with somebody. Maybe it's Tutu, but, maybe it's Royce.
Right. Well, Zach Evans couldn't even get on the field last week, so yeah, who knows how good he's going to be, right? So that's the whole thing with Zach Evans. I know people want it to happen. It's just if you're not getting above Rodney Rivers, that's such a red flag, dude. Like Rodney Rivers is not even an NFL level running back; like he's just the guy. So if he can't get on the field above him, I'm really worried about Zach Evans. But I think it's more mental than anything else. Like he's kind of the Cam Akers thing where he has his own issues and it's kind of costing him.
But this is also why I want Matt Stafford, right? Stafford's just going to be throwing it all over the yard this week. So
Jeremy out here telling us he's going into deeper leagues and then diving into the fucking Marianas Trench over here with fucking boys.
Listen, that is the name. So many people loved Royce Freeman back in the day from Oregon, and he's just never lived up to the hype. Yeah, good draft capital, good pedigree, and just couldn't do shit. Like it's been gross. I can't tell you how many times I've cut and added him in dynasty leagues. It's probably at least 50. Like I've always been like, yeah, it's Royce Freeman. Nah, damn it, no, it's not Royce Freeman.
So we got the top. There's only 7 wide receivers on their top trending ones. Oh, Curtis Samuel is number 1. Apparently, I should have taken that asinine treatment. We have Curtis Samuel, who's getting more play than he should because Sam Howell spreads it around to the safe options. I think I said this on the Sit Start show. Jahan Dotson, as great as he is and as good a route runner as he is, he tends to run the routes that involve more difficult throws, and Sam Howell's not really good at those. So Curtis Samuel, Logan Thomas run the simple, short stuff, and that's where Sam Howell goes. Second up, we got Kendrick Bourne. That's not sexy, but it's someone if you need a replacement. Wando Robinson and Rashee Rice are 2 guys. Well, I guess even Rashid Shaheed is 5th here. All 3 of them are starting to see increased workloads. Wando's just getting on the field. He's got what? How many targets? He's gotten at least 6 targets in 3 straight, at least 5 catches in 3 straight. He seems to be emerging as maybe the Giants' number 1. Don't mind him. Similar with Rashee Rice. 5 catches in 3 out of the last 4. He's only had one bad game with 2 targets. Rashid Shaheed seems to be up and down and up and down. Good last week, bad the week before, great the week before, terrible the week before that. So next week you probably sit Rashid Shaheed and start him in week 8. So he's like Amari Cooper. You only start him in certain weeks. 6th, we have JSN, who seen his highest snap share by about 20% in week 6. Only 5 targets, didn't do a whole lot, 48 yards. I wonder if that increased snap share was only because DK got hurt. But if you want to play devil's advocate, you could add him because DK seems to get hurt every week, so maybe it'll continue to be a trend. And we rounded out at 7 with Indianapolis receiver Josh Downs, who had 8 targets, 5 catches, only 21 yards, and was saved by a touchdown. So we have a lot of fantasy managers looking at only the final stat line or the final points total and not really looking at the stat line. Despite the week before, he put up 97 points and wasn't terrible. I think for me, the best two, I want to go for Wandale or Rashee Rice. I think I'd throw in Marvin Mims, but he's on the drop list on the other side because he didn't do shit. What are your thoughts on the receivers?
Yeah, pick up Mims. Definitely pick up Mims. That Jerry Jeudy trade rumor stuff is real. It's going to boost everybody up, and that Denver offense is bad. But, Mims has looked great. Russ can at least get him the ball a couple times a game. So I'm definitely picking him up if he's out there. In downs, I think he should be higher than 8. Like you said, 2 weeks ago, he had a good game. 4 weeks ago, I think it was week 3, when Minshew played, he was targeted 12 times. This week, he was targeted again, like you said, 8 times. So he's always going to have that lower A-dot kind of over the middle role in that offense. But those guys are the guys we're talking about here, right? We're talking about Wan'Dale Robinson and liking him. He's got the Paris Campbell role now, except he's better than Paris Campbell, and he's getting it downfield a little bit more. So give me Downs, give me Wan'Dale, give me those guys who are going to get those targets, and give me Mims as the dart throw.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Like I want Rice. He's in the best offense, and he's been involved. Fair. And like I was looking at his ESPN percentages, he's below Sky Moore for some reason. I don't know what the fuck we're doing. Like why we have Sky Moore, but Sky Moore's in the 40s, Rusty's in the 30s.
Come on, guys.
But yeah, like Downs is a good call as well. It's just we want guys seeing targets to be involved. So the thing with Mims is he saw 0 targets last week, and the week before he saw 1. Yeah. So hey, Sean Payton, like we got to figure something out, man. Like he's clearly a good wide receiver. It's just I don't know how like high his ceiling is, just because he's kind of capped from doing everything that a wide receiver can do. He's kind of short, or he's like downfield, like it's no in between stuff. So if he works on that, yeah, it could happen. It's just he's got a lot of cachet that everybody loves him, but I don't know how that's going to work out with how bad Russ has been in that offense. So yeah, he's worth at least taking a dart throw on. But there's my other guys I'd much rather target. But yeah, if you need someone for production, just go get Samuel. Like he's going to give you a baseline of production that some of these guys might not. So if you're going long term, you just stash like one of the rookies, like JSN or one of those guys that are out. But if you need production, you go Rashee, you go Downs, or you go Samuel, one of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Let's round it up with the tight ends. It's another short list, and it's an ugly one. Jonnu Smith, who somehow 6 weeks in is tight end 9 and is fantasy relevant. Since week 1, when he put up 0 points on 0 targets, he's had at least 10.7 or more fantasy points in every single week. He's had at least 5 targets in every week, at least 4 catches. Good God, Jonnu Smith. Number 2 is my favorite one. Jonnu Smith is my favorite one. I think him and Dalton Schultz, if you need immediately, if you can stash someone who has huge upside, and I got him everywhere in Dynasty, Michael Mayer is my number 2 here. Seen a career high in targets last week with 6, 5 catches for 75 yards, and he should have had more. I still haven't gone back and looked into it. He had a touchdown, and I don't know why it came off the board. I don't know if he was ruled down, out, penalty. I don't know, but I seen him score a touchdown, and then it didn't exist. But I'm all over Michael Mayer. Dalton Schultz comes in at 3. He's finally seen the production we expected the last 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks, 3 weeks in a row with the touchdown. Could that be largely due to Tank Dell being out? Probably. Will it evaporate once Tank Dell comes back? Probably. But who knows? Who would have thought the Texans were such a high-volume passing game? So he's definitely someone I'd like to hold on to. He's tight end 7 right now. 4th, we got Luke Musgrave, who was he out last week? Yeah. Oh, no, they were on a bye.
He has a bye.
He dealt with injury. He was on a bye. He's back this week. Yep. He's someone I like if you need a second tight end or, in a dynasty league, stash him. 5th, we've got Freiermuth, is he on IR? It says he's expected to practice and could be back in week 7. I thought he was on IR. No?
I don't know if they put him on IR. I know he's hurt. So I think they just rested him, but I'm not
He's just sure. Out on sleeper, not IR. But so he's your 5th most added tight end. If he's on his way back, you're probably not going to find anyone with higher upside than him on the waiver wire, although he's attached to Kenny Pickett. So upside, maybe a bit kind. We have David Njoku, who is massively disappointing. He has been 70% target share or over in every game. He's getting at least 4 targets in every game. He's just not doing anything. 2 catches for 22, 4 for 48, 4 for 20, 6 for 46, 3 for 20. Like, he's not doing anything. I know it's because, no touchdowns, shitty quarterback play, backup quarterback play. Just been all over the place. So, like I said, I'm going Jonnu or Schultz if I need someone immediately. If I can afford to wait a couple of weeks or even a week, Mayer and Freiermuth. What do you guys think?
So Musgrave is a guy that I've still been targeting, and he was good the week before the bye. Yeah, I mean, he's like the dart throw stash where he's seeing the routes and he's running. But yeah, like I put him and Mayer in kind of the same category. Like they're sleeing more and they're going into that role. So like as the season goes along, you want to stash them. Those are good guys. But yeah, if you need production, like you just trust Jonnu. It's been there and it's continually been there. That offense targets him. But I think Musgrave has the highest like ceiling of all of these guys, just because there isn't like serious competition. Like I know he has Watson, I know we have Dubs, but like there's no definite alpha in that offense. So there's room for him to carve out a significant role. And he's been like, I've watched a few of those games. He's been this close to being like having multiple boom weeks in that offense. It's just, kind of shitty situations similar to Cleveland where you got to trust Jordan Love, which is a little sketchy. But yeah, like I like those guys. It's kind of gross. It depends what you're going for. But Schultz is fine, like until Tank Dell comes back, and I just don't want Njoku, honestly. It's just been too disappointing, and that who knows what's happening with PJ Walker and all that. So yeah, I'm just gonna pass on Njoku for the meantime.
Yeah. I can't argue with any of these things. I wanted Gerald Everett to be a thing. Yeah, it's not going to happen, especially with Parm continuing to get that work. I want Kincaid to get a thing, even if he gets on the field. Knox is out there too much. I agree with everything you guys said, except Freiermuth. I'll take the shot. Right. We know he's out there. When he's out there, he's going to see looks, and maybe he gets in the end zone half the time or a third of the time. He's good to go. So, he'd probably be my number one just for that consistency. But like you said, if you're shooting for upside, any of the rookies are probably a better bet. Even McBride, who's not a rookie, would be probably a better bet there.
I mean, he's basically like a rookie, right? He did play last year, so yeah.
Ignore your Twitter messages. If you're getting notifications, ignore your Twitter messages. I meant to post in the lead chat that I have articles that need editing and being published, and I put it in our fucking podcast chat. So if you're wondering why I'm talking about an article in our podcast chat, that would be why. It's the wrong chat. So ignore it. Because
even you suck. Even with
he's not wrong.
Even with Musgrave, right? It's like DeGuara is out there all the time, right? Like I get it. All of these guys, Hooper in Las Vegas. All of these tight ends were brought in to catch the ball, but they're not blocking, right? Or they're not nearly the best blocker in the tight end room. And that's why we're seeing all these other tight ends get on the field, and then if they're wide open, they're getting looks, and it just caps the guys we want to break out. So give me someone like Freiermuth who can block and is going to be out there all the time. Give me someone like McBride who looks like he's kind of finally taking over from Zach Ertz, who is declining potentially. So we'll see.
If you need a blocker, you have missed the most obvious option of the greatest blocker in the history of the NFL.
Oh gosh.
Craig Reynolds.
You want Gronkowski?
Craig Reynolds.
Craig Reynolds.
Did you see that block on the Amon-Ra St. Brown touchdown? That was legit. He comes out of nowhere and smashes that dude. I must have watched that clip 50 times. It was fucking awesome.
And no flags somehow.
Well, no, I think
there's always flags on plays like that these days.
Right. Yeah, who knows nowadays?
We got
a clean.
Yeah, we got a question.
Oh,
there's people watching us.
I guess so.
Devonta Smith or Zay Flowers rest of season PPR.
Yeah, that's actually
the obvious answer. I think is Devonta Smith, but I think I'm over. Smith. I think it's closer than I think. I mean, it's tough because Devonta Smith is at pretty much an all-time low right now. He's been bad. Yeah, I think it's still Devonta Smith over Zay Flowers. It's not going to be this close all season, and even now, I still think it's Smith.
Yeah, it's Smith. He's just in a much better offense that I like, and he's already seen it. He's done it consistently throughout last year. He just has boom and bust weeks. It's kind of that offense with Philadelphia, right? So they're going to be spike weeks, and they're going to be mighty nice. It's just, you just kind of have to deal with it with Smith. So
a lot of
Flowers has a floor, but I just – oh, good.
How many games did Andrews miss? Because that's also probably helped Zay. I mean, it doesn't hurt that OBJ and Bateman, pretty much everyone not named Zay Flowers has been out on that offense, so that hasn't.
Yeah, they're just. Those guys just don't worry me at all, honestly.
Yeah, totally agree. They're not taking anything away from Zay. I think Zay is, like Jesse said, he's going to give you the floor play. He got into the end zone for the first time this week, which is great. He's getting the targets, which is great. I love it. But yeah, DVS is going to have some smash monster games. There's no way AJB can continue this historic, 4 games in a row over 125 yards receiving. Like, he's not going to do that every game. He can't. And then defenses are going to rotate to him. So
I see you say it, and I see you write DVS, and it takes me a minute every time to go, who the fuck is DVS? Why is he talking about Marquez Valdez-Scantling? And I'm like, oh, Devonta Smith, fucking clever son of a bitch. What's your outlook on the Lions backfield? My outlook on the Lions backfield is, remember last year when it was Jamal and Swift? Mm-hmm. Jamal is now Monty, and Swift is now Jahmyr Gibbs. That's what my outlook is.
And with no Monty, it's going to be very nice for Gibbs. Like, he's going to see a ton of work. So as long as he's healthy, that's
on a 3-year deal.
Monty, I think so.
That sounds
I think
right.
It's 3-year deal.
2 or 3.
This is not good for Gibbs's long-term value if they're going to keep playing the situation over and over. The only benefit to it is that Monty has a history of not staying healthy, as we see. So my hope, the only hope I have, is that in the next week or two, if Monty's out, Gibbs looks so fucking good that they simply can't go back to him. But they're 5-1, and I've seen them in the number 1 spot in a lot of power rankings. Monty out until week 10, though, in my opinion, that's entirely possible. I don't know when their bye is.
Possible for sure.
I'm not sure, but that's
I don't think they have any reason to change it. They're winning, and this is their brand of football that David Montgomery plays. I don't see them going away from it.
Yeah, just look at the week 3 split with Atlanta. Like, that's when, without Monty, Gibbs saw a ton of work, so he's going to see a ton of work. So I wouldn't worry about it too much.
But like we said, pick up Reynolds, get Craig Reynolds.
Mm-hmm.
Detroit's bye is week 9, so Monty's out this week. I think for sure, probably out against the Raiders. Yeah, he might not be back till week 10 against the Chargers.
Yeah. I'd say he's like a low end. Gibbs is probably a low end RB1 in like those weeks.
We don't know Gibbs is week 9 bye. I just looked it up.
Yeah, as long as he's healthy, that's the thing.
Gibbs is back this week though. That's why everyone's adding Craig Reynolds. Like, let me look it up here. Yeah. I don't know. I haven't seen the last report. I thought Gibbs was close last week, so I'm assuming he's in. But
while you look it up, their schedule after the bye is cake. It's Chargers, Chicago, Green Bay, New Orleans, but then Chicago, Denver, Minnesota, Dallas. I mean, this team's playoff bound. There's no need to rush back.
New Orleans and Dallas are the only ones I want to avoid out of those 8. But so Jahmyr Gibbs is trending towards playing in week 7. Gibbs has been out for multiple consecutive weeks. Who writes this shit? Gibbs has been out for
Check me out.
Thanks to a hamstring injury. But Dan Campbell's now telling reporters that he's trending in the right direction for Sunday's game. That comes at a good time, blah, blah, blah. David Montgomery out a bit of time. He'd be in line for a large workload. Wow, that's fucking rocket science there from Fantasy. Awesome. Maybe edit your shit, Fantasy Pros. But yeah, so that's what I said.
Twitter Dr. Jeff Mueller said he's going to be back this week, so I'm anticipating he's going to be back.
The only way this changes is in the next 2 weeks if Gibbs is so fucking good that he looks like Bijan Robinson, and they can't go away from him because they get to week 10 and who do they have the next 2 weeks? Baltimore and
Vegas week 8. He's gonna smash Vegas.
So they're 5-1. Say they're 6-2 coming out of the bye. They're not gonna go away from this. 7-1. They're definitely not going to. So unless Gibbs does something in the next 2 weeks, if he plays, I think this is a Jamal Williams, DeAndre Swift 2.0.
Did they sign somebody as well?
More time. Yeah, like who did they sign? But like, he's a rookie. He's gonna, as the season goes along, he's gonna get a little more confidence in that offense. It's just time with him. So like, I know we all love Monty, but like, there's a scenario where like you're talking about with Gibbs. Like, I think it's worth like just investing in and going for it. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But like, he's super talented. So
who did they sign? They reverted Divine Ozigbo to the practice squad.
Maybe that was the note I saw.
No, they put him back on the practice squad. You'd think they were adding something if they did that.
Oh, Mo Ibrahim.
Maybe. Yeah.
But that was to their practice squad, so I don't know if that really means anything.
That's a thing.
And he's the guy from Minnesota
Yeah.
who's just like
I know.
old, injured. Not somebody you want to worry about with Abraham.
Yeah, it's just,
unfortunately.
Yeah. So that's how I see that shaping up there.
Yep.
Blah blah blah. What is this?
Ooh, CMC.
No.
So
Oh, just a sec. I got it.
yeah, his
You
last
don't think
question.
CMC's out this week? No, but if you missed that part of the show, as a CMC owner, he plays Monday night. You need to go add one of Jordan Mason, Elijah Mitchell, Juwan Jennings, KJ Osborne, anybody, and then put CMC in your flex and have one of those as an emergency pivot for Monday night, because you can't put him on CMC on your bench and risk missing out on a game. So put him in your flex and then have one of them as an in case of emergency break glass. That's my idea.
At the same time, they also don't need him against a reeling Minnesota team. I mean, they could use him, of course, any week, but they could rest him for sure.
But they did just lose, so they're probably going to be motivated to play him, right? Like they just got their ass handed to them by the Browns.
Minnesota is
without
not
CMC.
a great matchup for running backs. They're not as
CMC is not a running back.
They're a pass
He's
funnel.
a fancy god.
Yeah.
Like Elijah Mitchell's the exact opposite picture of health. Like he's injured every single season, multiple times. Like his laundry list of injuries is massive. So
I prefer
just
Jordan
target
Mason.
any running back in San Francisco.
Yeah, I prefer Mason over.
Yeah, me too. You just can't trust Mitchell, man. He gets hurt all the time, and it's all soft tissue injuries. Those things are just brutal. So I like him as a player. He's really talented, but it's just injuries. Similar to Miami with those running backs when they get injured.
And Debo can always get back there and get 10 to 12 carries a game. So
Debo's dealing with that shoulder injury on top of his earlier injury. Like he hurt his shoulder in the game and he came out. So yeah, like they still want McCaffrey to play because they need him. Like that offense without McCaffrey and Debo, we saw how, and it was the Browns, right? They're best defense in the league. But it's just Ayuk and Kittle moving forward.
Sounds like an Ayuk and Kittle smash spot is what I was about to say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
so of course, Kittle will put up a donut. Kittle does.
So put him in your flex in the end, and like I said, have an emergency on either Minnesota or San Francisco that you can sub in if he doesn't play, because I suspect this one's going to go down to when do they have to announce an active? 6:30, 6:45. So it's it'd be an hour and a half before.
An hour. It drops like right around there. Yeah.
So if it's like 7 o'clock, whatever it is, I would be ready because I don't think they'll announce it till right before. So have someone handy.
Yes.
All right. Unless Randy's got more questions, thank you for joining us, Randy. But unless he's got more, I think we're good. That concludes a wonderful, wonderful journey through the waiver wire. Wasn't it wonderful? It was kind of like the kids in the sewer in the original It movie, where you don't know what the fuck you're going to see. You just know you don't want any part of it. It's like you close your eyes and you just manifest horrors. It's like the Ghostbusters scene where it's like, oh shit, someone thought of, someone closed their eyes and thought of John Smith, and that's who manifested. Which one of you fucking thought about John Smith?
It's like here comes Royce Freeman out of the garbage pail. It's like, oh, there he is.
It was Arthur Smith. It was Arthur Smith closed his eyes and manifested John Smith into existence.
I'm over here worried about the fucking Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and he's manifesting Royce Smith. Any streaming defenses? Give me 1 sec, actually.
So Kyle Pitts did grow a mustache, which resembles Arthur Smith. So I think that's why he's seeing targets now. I just saw that post and I was like, it makes so much sense.
Terrible.
His son of a bitch.
Vegas is a good streaming defense against Chicago.
You're sick. Just a sec. Let me bring it up.
Against Bagent? You're not going to stream a defense against I don't even know his first name, Bagent? Come on.
Tyson Bagent.
Okay.
Tyson.
I mean, you can stream the Giants. Like, I would much rather stream the Giants against Washington.
I assert that Tyson Bagent, a Division II quarterback, is still better than the Vegas Raiders. It's close. It's closer than you
possible.
Think. Okay,
it's possible, but no.
My choices were I would stream the Falcons or who else do I got? God damn it. 1 sec.
Yeah, like I like the Giants personally because they're not rostered in any league and they're playing Washington, who's like one of the most turnover prone teams in the league with like tons of sacks. So like if I'm targeting somebody, I'll chase them because their defense has been pretty good this year.
Bear with me, Randy. I ignore what I said about the Falcons. I clicked on my week 7 article. Nobody's published it yet because you guys are too busy talking on the show and I've been at work. Get on top of things, Jeremy. Go publish this shit.
You can do the Rams against Pittsburgh if you really want to stream somebody too.
Instead of clicking on my week 6 article, I've now found my unpublished week 7. My top streaming option is the Washington Commanders. My third option that there's no way I'm going to is the Vegas Raiders. I don't want any interest in the Colts. So yeah, basically I agree with whichever one of you guys said it. I'm either going Commanders or Giants. I think the way they've been playing lately, I don't mind firing up the Giants here. But yeah, Commanders Giants are my top 2 choices.
Yeah. Like you
Seattle
got
at home
there,
as well against Arizona.
Yeah. So I don't like the Bucks are not terrible, but I'm not going. Oh, he has the Browns. Did he say the Browns are available in his league? If the Browns are available in your league, you add the Browns.
Defense is incredible. Yeah, like the Browns
defense
is
sack Minshew 25 times in that game.
Go look at any chart. The Browns are like the max you can do on the EPA. It's just it's ridiculous.
Did my DST2 for the rest of the season. So ignore the matchups. Man. If the Browns are available, it's a middle of the pack matchup this week. If they're available, I don't care. Go add them. Browns. So Browns is the easy one there. Rest of season. They will probably get scooped up in use 5th. Okay, well, I would put your first waiver claim in on Browns. Second one would be Giants. Third would be
Packers. I like the Packers against Denver.
Yeah, that would probably be 4th for me. Yeah, I go Browns, Giants, Commanders, Packers. All right, I guess we can wrap it up with that. Never spent so much time on DST, but go figure. All right,
good luck.
NFL Week 7 Fantasy Football Waiver Wire Show. That was so exciting that we spent 10 minutes on DST. That's how good the fucking waiver wire was this week. DSTs. Next week will be so bad we'll do a kicker-only show.
Oh, I'm so in for that.
You're selling the shit out of this. Just make sure you intro every show with "Welcome to Hell," and then we'll be good.
Yeah, with that one, dudes. I'm gonna send a video to you guys so we just do that. It'll be great.
That'll be our intro. Welcome to hell, motherfuckers. All right, I gotta get clip some Rob Zombie House of 1,000 Corpses shit for the intro. All right, Aaron, Jesse, and Jeremy. This concludes our Week 7 shit show from hell for the waiver wire. Good luck. Take care, everyone.
Later, guys.